What if ancient sorcery and cutting-edge AI could merge to create the most powerful manifestation tool humanity has ever known? That future is already here. What if your screen could become a gateway to supernatural power? There's something the modern world forgot, something that witches, sorcerers, and practitioners of high magic have always understood deep in their bones. Reality bends to focused intention. For thousands of years, mystics created sigils, charged symbols that served as bridges between desire and physical manifestation. These weren't just pretty drawings. They were keys that unlocked doors most people don't even know exist. But we're living through a radical shift right now, and most people are completely missing it. In 2026, we're not just carrying phones in our pockets. We're carrying potential temples, digital altars, manifestation engines that operate 24/7. Every pixel on your screen vibrates with possibility. Every digital image you create leaves an imprint not just in code, but potentially in the fabric of reality itself. Think about how much time you spend interfacing with technology, hours every single day, pouring attention and energy into digital spaces. That's not wasted time, it untapped spiritual potential waiting to be harnessed. Here's where it gets wild. The boundary between physical and digital reality is dissolving faster than anyone predicted. Quantum physicists talk about observer effect, how consciousness itself changes physical outcomes. Now apply that principle to digital space, where your focused intention can literally program outcomes, create visual portals, and establish energetic patterns that persist indefinitely. The technology you're using right now could be the most powerful magical tool ever created. But there's something most people completely miss. They treat technology as separate from spirituality, like these are two different worlds that should never touch. That's the fatal mistake. The real practitioners, the ones seeing actual results with digital sigils, understand that separation is an illusion. Your smartphone screen is every bit as sacred as any ancient altar. The difference is power and scale. Ancient witches worked alone or in small covens. You can tap into a global network of consciousness. And here's the detail almost nobody talks about. Creating digital sigils isn't just about making images look mystical. It's about understanding symbolic language, vibrational frequency, geometric patterns that resonate with specific outcomes, and then using technological precision to amplify those patterns beyond anything possible with pen and paper. We're talking about combining sacred geometry with artificial intelligence, ancient wisdom with algorithmic processing power. Right now, at this exact moment, pioneers in digital occultism are discovering techniques that would blow the minds of traditional practitioners. They're creating sigils that learn and evolve, symbols that adapt based on feedback, manifestation engines that operate continuously in cloud servers. This isn't your grandmother's witchcraft. This is magic for the digital age, and it's more powerful than anything that came before. But the most unsettling truth: most people walking around with these devices have no idea they're carrying supernatural potential in their hands. Why? Ancient mysticism and modern technology are actually the same thing. Let me show you something that's going to shift your entire perspective. When you really look at how sigils have always worked, you start seeing that the process is nearly identical to how we program computers, train AI systems, and create persistent digital realities. It's not a metaphor. It's the same fundamental principle operating at different levels of reality. Stay with me here because this gets deep. Traditional sigil creation follows specific steps. Crystallize your desire into clear intent. Strip away everything unnecessary till you reach the pure essence. Transform that essence into symbolic form. Charge the symbol with focused energy, then release it to operate in the background of reality. Sound familiar? That's literally how you program reality through intention. Now, think about how software works. You define desired output, write precise instructions, compile the code, execute the program, then let it run autonomously. The parallel isn't coincidental. Both processes involve translating abstract intention into concrete form that can produce real-world effects. The sigil is code. The code is a sigil. The only difference is the medium we're working through. And in 2026, We finally have tools sophisticated enough to merge both approaches into something exponentially more powerful than either one alone. That's what makes digital sigils revolutionary. But here's where things get truly strange. When you create a digital sigil using AI-powered tools, you're not just making a picture, you're creating a persistent data structure that exists across network systems, potentially immortal as long as the internet exists. Every time you view it, share it, or meditate on it, you're activating that energetic pattern. The sigil becomes a living entity in digital space, continuously broadcasting your intention into the collective unconscious. Now think about the implications. Traditional practitioners had to physically recreate sigils, maintain them, keep them charged through repeated rituals. Digital sigils maintain themselves. They exist in multiple locations simultaneously. They can be programmed to appear at specific times, respond to specific triggers, or integrate with other systems in ways that amplify their effect. You're not just creating magic, you're automating manifestation. And there's something even more profound happening beneath the surface. Modern research into consciousness suggests it might not be contained inside our skulls. It might be fundamental to reality itself, existing in a distributed network that includes but transcends physical brains. If that's true and mounting evidence suggests it is, then digital networks might be extensions of that consciousness field. When you encode intention into digital form, you're inscribing it directly into a medium that bridges human consciousness and technological infrastructure. Only there's a catch that changes everything. For a digital sigil to actually work, you can't just generate random mystical-looking images. You need to understand symbolic correspondence, color vibration, geometric resonance, and psychological impact. The image needs to bypass your rational mind and speak directly to deeper levels of consciousness. That's where the real art begins. How to actually build sigils that reprogram your reality right now. We're crossing the threshold from theory into practice, and this is where everything crystallizes into actual power you can use. You're about to learn the exact process for creating digital sigils that carry genuine energetic charge, not theoretical, not symbolic. Real manifestation technology that operates at the intersection of consciousness and code. Pay attention because each step matters. Start by getting absolutely clear on what you want to manifest. Not vague wishes like happiness or success. Those intentions are too diffuse to carry power. You need surgical precision. I manifest unshakable confidence in high-pressure situations is specific. I attract mentors who accelerate my creative evolution is focused. The tighter your intention, the more concentrated the energy, the stronger the manifestation. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Feel it in your body until it becomes absolutely real. Next, open your digital tool. Could be a simple graphics editor, a sophisticated design platform, or even AI image generators with the right prompts. The tool doesn't matter as much as your state of consciousness while using it. You're not just creating art, you're performing digital sorcery. Start with foundational geometric shapes that carry ancestral power, circles for protection and wholeness, triangles pointing upward for manifestation and ascension, spirals for continuous expansion and growth. Here's where digital magic surges beyond traditional methods. You can layer complexity that would take hours by hand, but takes seconds digitally. Build your sigil in layers: foundation geometry, then color frequencies aligned with your intention, then personal symbols only you understand, then finishing touches that make it visually hypnotic. Each layer adds dimensional depth to the energetic field. But there's something crucial that separates digital sigils that work from pretty pictures that do nothing: the charging process. After you create the visual form, you must infuse it with life force. Open the image full screen. Breathe slowly while gazing at its center. Visualize your desired outcome with such intensity that you feel it manifesting in real time. Pour emotion into it, not just thought, but feeling. Let your eyes trace every line, absorb every color, until the boundary between you and the sigil dissolves. Now here's the secret that modern practitioners discovered by accident. When you set this charged sigil as your phone wallpaper, lock screen, computer background, you create constant subconscious reinforcement. Every time you glance at your device dozens of times daily, you're reactivating the energetic pattern. You're reprogramming your unconscious mind through repeated exposure. The sigil operates on you continuously without conscious effort, and this is just the beginning of what's possible. Tell me, if you could manifest one specific transformation in your life right now, what would it be? Drop it in the comments. And if this knowledge is resonating somewhere deep inside you, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. We're unveiling secrets most people will never discover. Why digital networks are becoming supernatural infrastructure. Something extraordinary is emerging that most people aren't seeing yet. Blockchain technology and ENFs, dismissed by many as financial speculation, actually represent something far more significant from an esoteric perspective: the possibility of creating truly immortal magical objects. When you mint a digital sigil as an ENF on a blockchain, you're not just creating a collectible, you're encoding your intention into a distributed network that exists simultaneously across thousands of nodes worldwide, essentially permanent and tamper-proof. Consider the metaphysical implications. Your sigil isn't stored in one vulnerable location anymore. It exists as a pattern distributed across a global technological web, accessible from anywhere, persistent even if individual servers fail. Ancient witches dreamed of creating magical objects that would outlast their physical bodies. We can actually do that now. We can create sigils that continue broadcasting intention long after we're gone. But there's an even stranger phenomenon emerging. When multiple people interact with the same digital sigil, viewing it, meditating on it, sharing it, something happens that resembles what ancient texts called egregore formation. An egregore is a collective thought form, an entity created and sustained by group consciousness. Digital sigils shared across networks might be creating new egregores in real time, thought forms that exist primarily in digital space, but can manifest effects in physical reality. Think about it. Thousands of people focusing attention on the same symbol, feeding it energy through views and engagement, creating ripples in the collective unconscious. Traditional magic required physical gatherings for group ritual. Now, we can achieve similar amplification through networked consciousness, potentially on a scale never before possible in human history. The internet might actually be evolving into a substrate for collective manifestation. Only there's a paradox we need to confront honestly. Some practitioners worry that relying too heavily on technology weakens our direct connection to source energy, to nature, to the raw power that existed before screens and circuits. It's a legitimate concern. Technology can become a crutch or a distraction. Staring at screens all day does disconnect us from embodied experience, from the earth beneath our feet. But here's the nuanced truth that advanced digital occultists understand: technology doesn't replace traditional practice, it extends it. You don't abandon meditation, ritual, or nature connection. You integrate them with technological amplification. Use your digital sigil as a focal point during meditation. Print it and place it on your physical altar. Let it bridge digital and physical realms rather than keeping them separate. The separation between technological and spiritual was always artificial anyway. Every tool humans ever created, from the first stone blade to quantum computers, extends natural human capacity. Magic was always about using available tools to bend probability and manifest intention. The tools change. The fundamental principle remains constant. What we're really discovering is that consciousness can operate through any medium. What happens when humanity masters digital manifestation? Look at the trajectory we're on and project forward just a few years. Artificial intelligence is evolving at exponential rates. Tools that seem miraculous today will be primitive tomorrow. Virtual reality is becoming indistinguishable from physical reality. Augmented reality will overlay digital information directly onto our visual field. Neural interfaces are moving from science fiction to clinical trials. Every technological advance opens new frontiers for consciousness to explore, new ways to encode intention into reality itself. Imagine augmented reality contact lenses that project your personal sigils directly into your field of vision, creating a constant energetic overlay on everything you see. Imagine brain-computer interfaces that let you create and charge sigils purely through thought, eliminating the barrier between intention and manifestation entirely. Imagine shared virtual spaces where global communities gather for synchronized manifestation rituals, creating collective thought forms powerful enough to shift physical reality at scale. This isn't fantasy. These technologies are in development right now. Within 5 years, maybe less, the boundary between consciousness and code will essentially vanish. We'll be able to think intention directly into digital form, then broadcast that intention through global networks, reaching billions of minds simultaneously. The magical potential is staggering, but so is the responsibility. Because here's the question that haunts every practitioner who thinks deeply about this. When we gain the power to manifest with unprecedented speed and precision, what do we choose to create? What intentions do we encode into our digital sigils? What kind of collective reality are we programming through our shared symbols and networked consciousness? These aren't technical questions. They're spiritual and ethical questions that will define humanity's future. This brings us back to the most ancient wisdom: know thyself. Technology can amplify your intention, but it can't create wisdom. It can manifest your desires, but it can't ensure those desires actually serve your evolution. The more powerful the tools become, the more critical self-knowledge becomes. Ancient mystics spent lifetimes purifying their intentions, aligning their will with universal forces. We have tools that can manifest in days what took them years. But are we ready? There's a path opening before you right now. A path where every screen becomes a sacred gateway, every digital interaction becomes a magical act, every moment online becomes an opportunity for conscious creation. You can continue sleepwalking through digital life, letting technology use you, or you can wake up, claim your power, and become the conscious creator you were always meant to be. The choice is yours. It always was. The only difference now is you have tools of unimaginable power in your hands. Use them wisely. Use them consciously. Use them to re-enchant not just your personal reality, but to contribute to the collective awakening of human consciousness itself. So tell me, what's the first digital sigil you're going to create? What intention will you encode into reality? Drop awakening in the comments if you're ready to step into this power. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this knowledge with someone who needs to discover what becomes possible when consciousness and technology merge.